Okay, this is the first time filming one from a strip mall parking lot, so we'll see how this goes. Probably not going to be the last time though. What do you think about that for time management? Want to start a side hustle, but don't have the time to do it. As someone with a wife, 2 kids, a full-time job, a side business, and now a YouTube channel too, I know how hard it can be to find time to work on a side hustle when you've got a job. But to help you out, I'm gonna break down my daily routine that has allowed me to build a 6-figure business without quitting my full-time job. And I'm also gonna talk to you about some of the mistakes that I've made early on in my side hustle journey. Stick around to the end, and I'm also gonna share my
hidden secret.
You're not gonna believe this one. To be more productive with a full-time job than a lot of small business owners who work 60+ hours a week on their business full-time. Ready? Let's dive in. Now I'm going to dole out a little tough love for you here, and if you feel like you don't have the time to start a side business, then frankly you don't. There's only 24 hours in a day. If you have small kids like I do, it's going to be tough to find time to do it. You're going to really need to be extremely disciplined to have a chance of making it happen. Now on the flip side, if you're single or you don't have any kids, I'm extremely confident that you have plenty of time that you don't even know about yet to launch a business. You might need to sacrifice some Netflix or sleeping on the weekend, but trust me, you can do it. Now, I'm not gonna sugarcoat this one. I've had to sacrifice a lot of time to build my own side business. This isn't something I was able to do like 1 hour a week on here or there. When I started out side hustling, I was reading the book Crush It by Gary Vaynerchuk. You've probably heard of this book before. If you haven't read the book already, I'll share with you the entire punchline. Work nonstop to build a business, late nights, weekends, early mornings. You should never not be working. I tried to follow this advice for a while, but surprise, surprise, I got burned out eventually. Worst of all, I felt bad for taking literally any time off from blogging. If I wasn't being productive on a Saturday afternoon, for example, on the weekend, I actually felt bad about doing it. That sucked, and I'm pretty sure it wasn't good for my mental health. I'm not a psychiatrist or anything, but I'm just gonna go with that. Please don't do this to yourself. You need relaxation time. Even if you're building a business, you still deserve to have fun, even if you're trying to make more money right now. With all that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and say that I think the essence of Gary's book makes sense. I just couldn't do it myself. You know, what's worked out a lot better for me is by blocking consistent time to work on something every single week. For me, it's been the most productive time of day by far has been the mornings. I'll get up at 5:30 a.m. every day for me because it's really the only uninterrupted time that I get during the day. The kids aren't up yet. No one is texting me, calling me. I can just make a cup of coffee and focus on my work. I usually get up and I work my side business from 5:30 a.m. to 8 a.m. This gives me 2.5 hours of focused work before I start my day job. And I stick to this schedule pretty much Monday through Friday with a few exceptions. I'll even wake up early on the weekends, sometimes not always 5:30, but just to grind out an hour or two work just to make a little progress before the day starts. For me, this early morning time is what I've built my business around. It's my sacred time. I try to protect it. Fortunately, that's not really that hard to do since no one else is really up at that time doing anything. The nice thing, in my opinion, about waking up early to build a business is you don't feel like you're missing out on anything. Everyone else is sleeping or waking up at that time. There's no social events that happen before 6 a.m. or anything like that. I needed to put some thought into this routine, however. For example, if you're gonna wake up early like me, you aren't able to really stay out late. You can't party. You've got to go to sleep early to get up early, basically. In college, I would have never been able to make this schedule happen whatsoever. I was a lot more of a nighttime reveler. Since I still have a full-time job, I wake up early. I got to do bath time, work with the kids. I'm exhausted by the end of the day. I pretty much am ready to just pass out by the time 8 a.m. or 8 p.m. rolls around. Working late nights just isn't an option for me right now, but it might be for you depending on your situation. So whenever you can find the time, really, I mean, everyone's situation is different. My big tip for you though is find a regular time each week where you can focus on building the business. You might put in a couple 8-hour shifts on a Saturday and Sunday to make a lot of progress. You might be a night owl who loves to stay up until 2 a.m. in the morning. The main thing is just finding a time to move things forward. And it's rush hour right now where I live, so you can see cars backing up. Also, the business you choose obviously is going to dictate what you need to do, right? So if you start a blog like I did, You can work pretty much anytime. You work at night, whenever. If you started a lawn care business, you're probably going to need to fulfill some of that work during regular business hours, you know, when people are awake and stuff, at least some of the time. The next tip I have for you is to find chunks of time to work in. I like to think about 2-hour blocks of time. In the past, I would always try to like bang out 15 minutes of work here in my free time, bang 15 out there. This works for some things like sending off a quick email, but not for deep work, writing a blog post, developing a marketing strategy, things like that. Another thing that worked well for me is focusing on only one activity at a time. You know, you can get in this rut of like, I got to check my email, bank account, look at my analytics, look at my stocks, you know, bounce between half a dozen different activities. Do not do this. Whenever possible, focus on one task at a time. This is such a tough one. I still struggle with it today,
but I'm working on it.
You know, in the past, I would always start out writing a blog post. Then I'd realize I'd need to create a photo in Canva to make an image. Then I would try to record and edit a podcast, then respond to an email from a reader. I'm sure you've kind of tried to juggle all those things at once, or multitask, if you will.
That's never worked for me.
What I do now is very simple. I just get a piece of paper and I just write down a few bullet points of what I want to get done that hour or that day. And then I just work on those items until they get crossed off the list. This is an extremely simple lesson, but it's made me a lot more productive, and it just feels really nice to just cross something off like that. So what's my super hack? I let you know to get things done. How do I get done with 30 plus blog posts in a month while maintaining a full-time job? You know, what's my secret? How am I so productive? How do I get blogs created? I do the same thing literally that every other business owner on the planet does. I hire out people to do work. Surprise, surprise. You know, I don't design any website. I can't write as many blog posts as I would need to on my sites if I wasn't able to hire people out. If you're starting a new business, new side hustle, I would suggest by starting out by like doing your logo design, any video editing, have a website built for you through Fiverr, and see what other sorts of relevant projects that you could outsource to other people and charge other folks more for. Essentially, at some point, you just aren't going to be able to do everything yourself. You can't be like so productive and always on at every single point to be, you know, continually moving your business forward that way, even in a side hustle. You know, you might not be able to hire anyone at first. I wasn't able to either, but just start to familiarize yourself with these different websites that allow you to outsource work. And that'll get the gears turning about what you can do in the future. So takeaways: come up with a consistent time to block each week to plan your side business. Protect this time, and frankly, just don't feel bad about that other time that you've budgeted for other stuff. Don't worry about it. Let me know what times you're planning to build your business in the times below. Just let me know what hours you've got blocked out for the week. I'll give you a big thumbs up. I'll comment back. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please like and subscribe. I'll talk to you very soon.